In Congress, again, the statutory approaches that could address this at a substantive level have not even come close to passage. So in the meantime, cities and states are not waiting for the federal government to act. And that brings us to St. Petersburg. Now, in this case, I don't mean St. Petersburg, Russia, where the Internet Research Agency, LLC, is based, but rather St. Petersburg, Florida, which is a city that is larger than you think, but it is not the largest city in the US by any means. And after a year and a half of an effort spearheaded by Free Speech for People at the national level and by local allies at the grassroots level, including the League of Women Voters of St. Petersburg, the American Promise Tampa Bay chapter, and other key local activists, in November 2017, the City Council of St. Pete passed a groundbreaking local ordinance that effectively bans political spending in city elections by corporations with a specified level of foreign ownership. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a moment. Just so you know, other efforts going on. Connecticut, last year, one house of the legislature passed the same bill that we helped develop. This year, it's been reintroduced. Massachusetts currently has a bill pending in the Massachusetts State Senate that we worked on with Common Cause of Massachusetts. So let me tell you what these bills do. These bills identify a category known as a foreign-influenced corporation. And that is defined as meeting one of three tests. One test could be that a foreign national is directly or indirectly involved in making decisions about political spending by the corporation. Second category is if a single foreign investor owns 5% or more of the company's stock. And this 5% threshold is one that's generally recognized in corporate laws, one at which an investor can exercise influence over the corporate governance. And at that level, we presume that the corporation is potentially subject to foreign influence. And then the third category is if a group of foreign investors collectively, even if they're not working together, add up to 20% ownership. That 20%, not coincidentally, matches a threshold in the Federal Communications Act of 1934, which prohibits broadcast licensees, TV stations, common carriers, from having more than 20% foreign ownership. So if a company, corporation, LLC, or similar entity meets any of these three categories, it's deemed a foreign-influenced corporation. And then it's prohibited from spending money directly in the election or from contributing to an entity like a super PAC that would spend the money itself. Obviously, the premise of this law is not xenophobia. It's not to discourage foreign investment. What it's to do is to ensure democratic self-government.